Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Just wanted to show you a couple things I'm working on here. First thing up is the Nebulon B frigate conversion. Originally had built this thing prior to Reforged Eden's shield system, and it was all set to go. And then once that dropped, it kind of moved into irrelevancy. So what I've been doing here lately is overhauling it, converting it to Reforged Eden, finding spaces for additional components, the shield extenders and stuff like that. So that's the process I'm working through right now. It will be able to house one large shield part and a fusion reactor. So you could have a fusion reactor work partially as a charger with its innate rechargeability to offset. Let's say you want to put one large shield capacitor in there, you can do that. So with that in place and the additional shield parts, that should give you like a total of 88,000 or so. That would be before a bastion or regenerative shield. So in addition to that, I've done some other things to it. I've extended it a little bit. So I originally had the shield system up here, like this will house 4 of the medium-sized shield parts in addition to the small ones. Now, since I've lengthened the build, I'll probably move these to the back, and that front section, I'll just potentially leave that open for farms or additional up-armoring. So the build is going to feature, it's going to have a forward bridge in addition to a rear bridge here. I guess this can be considered the protected bridge. We have a one up here. So not too bad of a system here. Looking at targeting like a 1.8 million spawn in. Now turrets probably going to be in a range of 20, 24, something like that total. Maybe not even reaching that amount. Going to be leaning more on the player weapons. You will have I think it's like a 24 weapon suite on the front here, so should be able to get 2 systems. So it should work for like early, late game. Should be good for mid game. Now, I did manage to, with the help some viewers here, we did come up with a fix. So this would be like blast doors here for landing gear, and this will allow the build to land planet side. Now, this was one of my hangups before, is trying to get this thing to land on a planet, being its odd configuration. So, having the blast doors here, these will extend out, and that'll take care of that. So it's going to leave you in a situation, though, where you don't really have access to the hangar to park HVs and stuff like that. So what I'll be working on is having like a 2-tiered system here, where you could potentially park any sort of docked HVs with a top pad. So I should be able to catch them there. This is okay, here we go. Trying to remember where the front door is. Okay, so yep, so you could potentially dock your HVs here, and then that's good to go. A little bit of space for a couple of fighters in the hangar. Some Actus 2s, or maybe some A-Wings that I'll release, something like that. Some small fighters. Overall, I'm not too big on the hangar space, obviously, but it is what it is. It's what I had to deal with. I wanted to try and adhere to some of the dimensions of the actual reference. So there it is. It's not too bad of a ship. Still working it out. See if I can get some spawn or some farms hydroponics put in. Now, if that doesn't work, what I'm going to here potentially is some sort of module system. So this is what I'm working on here. designed to, we have the door here, and it would dock on the neck. So these two should match up, this door and this nose. Now, I might actually make this a starter CV in its own right. There seems to be some interest in that. So it would have an upgrade range of its own. I'm trying to get, like, I'm trying 320K systems that might not have enough space in here, but it's possible. We'll see if I can work that out. 9 times 6 grow plots. So as a starter, we have some decent hydroponics there. This was designed specifically to be able to shore up any sort of hydroponics for what the Nebulon B lacked. Sides here, these could be used for solar. And of course, we have our full device mounting of a warp drive and a full-size shield generator. Now, it does also feature upgrades like, so I may spawn it in with without thrusters, so it could be some sort of base. And then the player would just add on as that becomes available. It does have 4 turret mounts, 2 in the back, 2 in the front here with these positions. And these mounts here with the antenna, that could be used as weaponry or, let's say, laser mines or laser drills if you want to convert that to some sort of miner later on. Next thing we have, moving on, still staying with the Star Wars theme, is a carrier based on the Quasar. Liking it to a Quasar II. So very, very robust in size, somewhat comparable to a Helios. You could say it's a little wider, maybe a little shorter. So what we have here is a carrier that's designed to hold 3 Helios modules. So this will be one position right here, and one for either side here. Hangar's pretty sizable, maximum door height. So working this system out. So this is going to be a carrier with quite a bit of customization options. And so there's going to be a number of things we're going to be looking at here. We could have our full shield suite in addition to 3 fusion reactors. Now, these underwing sections here, as well as the top section, these can be utilized as turret placements. So in addition to what we have at the front here, this could give a total suite of over 60 turrets at the moment, so probably still adding some more. So if you want to, you can make it some sort of hybrid combat carrier. Yeah, there's quite a few options here. So these dots here, these dashes, this is going to be weapon mounts. So weapon mounts or drill mounts. So you could make it a miner of some capacity. Carrier, combat vehicle, if you want to convert it that. So quite a bit of customization. In addition to the modules here, you could define its role that you want to. So this section here, I will leave this open to some onboard farms. It's could probably get 3x9 grow plots, maybe 4x9 here. Still working out. This is going to be CPU area right here. But as far as the grow plots, if you want some sustenance, I didn't want to just completely get rid of the option to put farms on here. You know, the player can do that through module system. That's fine, but just wanted to leave a few on there. Now, I'll probably leave the space open for something else if the player doesn't want to use farms. So it's quite a quite a length here. So I'm trying to come up with maybe some sort of way that I could shorten the duration that the player needs to transit up and down the length of the ship. Now, this whole system here, all this space, I'm going to set this aside for storage extension. So the player will be able to define its storage capacity, if you want to do that. solar placement, full solar suite. So at the moment, though, these positions are temporary. I'll probably move these more towards the outer section of the wing, and then I'm going to open this up for additional storage placement. So we'll just move to the front of the neck here. I'm going to take a look at the our current aesthetic. This is our deployment room. So the forward section here, you're going to have ease of access. Now I do have a drone hatch. I don't know if I want to keep that. Is that a weak spot possibly? Maybe if y'all have any ideas in that direction, should it stay, should it go? Just leave some comments below. Let me know your thoughts on that. If that's something you want. So it's like, you know, I have this here. Could be good for easy access, good for a drone. But, you know, we also have this deployment here. So, you know, could this act as a drone hatch in its own right? Possibly. Y'all let me know if you think this is maybe too much of a vulnerability here. I could just go combat steel and block this in, and maybe the ramp's enough. So, so this is our aesthetic. We got full medical suite, so ease of access in and out. Now I did leave this the driver section here that I wanted to make sure to give a nice panorama in case people convert this to a miner of some sorts. So yeah, at some point I'll probably make like a mid-range bridge to act as some sort of combat bridge or something like that. I'm just still deciding on the placement where I'd want to go with that. Now this is going to be busy because this is going to be the parking for two of the modules. So if I were to do a bridge, I guess it's going to have to be like asymmetrical. Maybe I could do something over here on this side, or maybe on the opposite side, or something like that. So just got to figure out how that system's going to go. I didn't want to put a bridge on the top. Well, I kind of did because that would break up the look of this thing, that parking lot thing. But then again, that would defeat the purpose of a carrier. So, and it's a lot of space, so you could fit like 2 adjudicators and 1 retribution on here for parking. So it's pretty significant. Yeah. So I'm gonna try and get this thing in as like a 1.8, maybe 2.1 million spawn in. And then from there, you'll be able to define what you want out of this carrier. Do you want it to be just like a full carrier-fledged thing? Maybe that's its only role, and you just park it at a sun or whatever. That's up to you. Or maybe you want something in between. It could be a carrier that probably or possibly you want to contribute to some sort of fleet engagements as a support combat vehicle. Or maybe you just want to completely convert it to that as like a battle carrier. So, yeah, we're going to be having some options here with that. So, not done with the thruster placement here, still working through that. So keep that in mind. This is just kind of temporary. Like this, had this initial mounting of 8 thrusters, but that might even have to double, because doing some play testing, like vehicles parked and stuff like that, the weight was adding up. So we'll see how that is. Now, next thing we got going on here is a submarine, apparently. Klingon submarine. All right, so Klingon Fighter. Um, really enjoying working on this. However, I had to put this program on hold. But if we figure out the situation with what's going on with the cockpit, so right now the problem is that forward place cockpits they have a vulnerability within a game where with the vehicle shields up and with the hit point value still remaining on the cockpit, the player can still get killed inside of the cockpit. So that's really aggravating. So I've kind of put a hold on this and other SVs. Um, but as far as it stands, the vehicle itself, if that situation ever gets resolved. Now, I have been vocal about it in the Empyrion forums, and I don't know if that's really gaining traction that it needs to be, unfortunately. So this might be a long hold on this and other SVs, unfortunately. So I'm not sure what to say about that. But as far as the build itself, it would be pretty extensive in its cargo capacity. So you can think like a full build here with all the shield parts and CPU and all that stuff. Number of weapon mounts. Haven't really worked out like turret placement and stuff like that. That may not be significant, but it may just be more along the lines of just a mounted weapon fighter. So I was really looking forward to completing this one. I wanted to round out the Klingon system I had going on. So there's that, and then there's this here. This is the start of our Babylon 5 build series. Thunderbolt II. This was ready to go to the workshop. And I did some play testing, got in the cockpit, and then that's when it was made real to me, the situation with getting shot out of the cockpit. So unfortunately this is on hold, as is any other forward cockpit placed SVs at the moment. But yeah, this is ready to go if Alien ever decides to fix a severe issue with the game that they have. Myself and a number of other people have been pretty vocal about what's going on with the cockpit thing, and I don't know. Hopefully, they're going to get around to that because it's really discouraging. Would like to be able to build some SVs. Got a number of them, like things like this. The Y-wing that has a forward cockpit placement that's got the same issue. So it's like, okay, well, what do? I mean, this is ready to go. Do I put it on the workshop and then put y'all in a situation where you experience what I experienced? You've upgraded your build and then you get shot out of your cockpit. So, and then your ship gets destroyed. So I can't, I don't want to put you guys in that situation by putting these builds out on a workshop and have that happen. So, well, maybe Alien will take a look at it. So moving forward, then this would be part of the Babylon 5 system here. This is a Warlock from Babylon 5 that I'm working on. This too has been put on hold because I wanted to release these two as a unit. And so I guess we're just going to have to hold off on that until the situation with the cockpit gets resolved. But right now what I have is it's a pretty sizable ship as far as like the component placement, stuff like that. Still working out the hangar suite here. Now some things probably change, like this block choice here. This would probably have to widen up a little bit. I'd make these thinner in order to accommodate some additional parking. The Thunderbolts can get in here, but maybe I wanted to thin this up a little bit to get in or squeeze in a couple additional different types of vehicles. So this is our aesthetic choice at the moment. Not sure if I want to stay with the rounds. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. So as far as like the lore setting with the Warlocks, they have it's a human faction. For those not familiar with Babylon 5, it's this would be our human, our future aesthetic with the humans as far as like that universe setting. Now, it does have some influences from some aliens, like the known as the Shadows. Like they had some sort of aesthetic and equipment involvement inclusion with the ship itself. So maybe some like the rounding here, maybe that would sort of like emulate what their touch might be, what their influence might be. Well, okay, so this is a earlier build. But yeah, so that's it. As far as the build itself, it would be a fully offensive monster. So like this section here, this would be like CPU. All this down here, up into this section, this is shield placement. And then the front here, this is going to be armored up. Probably, well, not probably. I will have some decoys. In fact, I have some already. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, okay. So we started our decoy system. Now, this will be a optional railgun placement. So there's that. The front section here, we will be able to... I'm going to leave this open, so you can define a role. Maybe you want more armor, some additional decoys and stuff like that. That'll be up to you. We have full internal solar suite, or if you wanted to, you could swap this out for farms. Or maybe a combination of the two. So... Right, so we have quite a few weapon mounts. These here, this could be weapon mounts. I'm working on something here, so I'll probably take the turret placement off up here and put some sort of faux turret placement with player weapons. Yeah, so that's definitely going to be a dedicated war vehicle. We've got our thrusters all consolidated here in the back, with the exception of these two, to give a little bit more yaw, and just to break up the thrust situation. So, yeah, so that's it. Pretty robust warship. Gonna have some decent armoring on the front here. Can block that out if you want to do that. A good number of mounted weapons, full shield system, as well as all three of the fusion reactor placements. So, yeah. So that's it. That rounds up this playthrough here. This video with all of our builds. So what was that? 3 Star Wars, 1 Klingon, 2 Babylon 5. So, so this is going to be the first thing to be coming out the door here, the Nebulon B frigate. And then the module, I'll probably do that as a pair. After that, taking a look at the Quasar. If the situation with the SVs isn't resolved by then, yeah. So then after that, we'll see where we stand. Definitely want to see this situation with the cockpit thing resolved. So. Hopefully we'll do that in the near future. So, alright folks, that's going to do it for this episode of Blueprint Work in Progress Update. Until next time, LyfeForce out. Hello folks, if you enjoy my content, if you enjoy my builds, please consider becoming a patron today. As a patron, you get access to custom builds of release works, early access to some builds before they hit the workshop, exclusive builds. You also gain access to direct feedback and engagement through polls, idea suggestions regarding builds before and after workshop release. If this interests you, please check out the pinned comment below. Thank you.